I'm a very passionate cyclist, and so for me, when it comes to autonomous technology, I think, for me, it's a major reason why I love this capability, because ultimately, if you look at, for example, Waymo, and I'll talk about a risk, actually, one of the downsides of Waymo. Let me talk about a benefit of Waymo, is the 7 million miles that we've studied and now analyzed. I think, it's about 6 to 7 times safer and then less accidents than a normal human driver. Like, it is incredible about, it's one of those things where the perception, because a lot of people get very nervous about getting to autonomous vehicle. I don't know if you've both actually experienced Waymo experience if you're in the US now. If you go to San Francisco, Phoenix, Los Angeles, just been announced in New York. It's actually Tokyo is going to be one of the first countries outside. I talk to people often about what their experience is like when they went into it, and to be frank, half the people I talk to are quite fearful about this, like this whole notion of a self-driving car. But the data's there. It's actually not only from the perspective of the convenience of being a rider in a autonomous vehicle, but it's more about the vulnerable road users, the cyclists in particular. They don't hit cyclists. They really are nailed that use case down. So Waymo, massive potential opportunity to, and I use the word disrupt here, like, the what it means to actually with transportation, about where that's going. The potential side, the second order of that, is really what it's going to do maybe to the massive segment of the population who basically drives for work, whether it's truck drivers, it's ride sharing companies, it's taxi drivers, it's anyone who's actually driving transportation, which I believe in most countries is around about 3 to 4% of the population. So often, I think about, okay, this is phenomenal in terms of what the technology provides, but what's the impact that's going to happen on a big chunk of society, which really drives for a living, the professional drivers. So these are things which I think ultimately Google does think through this. I think it's a company which likes to think about that second order thinking, what's going to happen beyond that. And in some ways, I've bundled that benefit in with a risk at the same time. But that's some of the impact, I think, in sense when you have autonomous technology in particular, what it's going to mean for the livelihood of a good chunk of the population. That's something which is worthwhile considering. But for me, as a cyclist, I'm looking forward to the day when I can ride without